Chicken Little.
I got you.
After all the baking's done, show up and be the hero now.
Someone's got to do it.
Whoa, stop. Is this awkward? Stop. Is this awkward? I'm so sorry.
I punch you in the mouth. Meri backs right into me, and then Nathan pushes the bike into her. Over, in front of me, right against me.
Closer than I have been to him in years.
Who is my ex?
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, November 25th, 2024, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you had a chance to watch the most recent episode of Sister Wives, you might be like me and were a little bit befuddled and somewhat disgusted, a little bit annoyed, and then at times very happy that Meri Brown was waking up to who Robyn Brown actually was. And there was some very uncomfortable moments that were created by Kody's friend, Nathan, who happens to be Meri's brother-in-law. So, my goodness, that was an episode. And for those of you that haven't watched, we're not going to do full recaps of these episodes anymore because we know that these episodes are, for the most part, relatively scripted. We know the scenes are set up for the show, and we also know that a lot is hidden, and the underlying tension and issues aren't being discussed. But in this specific episode, Kody went to help Meri Brown move to Parowan, Utah after she left the family. And I want to preface this by saying I don't think Kody would have even gone if cameras wouldn't have been there. And I don't think he would have cared if she left. I think a lot of what was said to her when she left, when the cameras were rolling, was very much for dramatic effect. I didn't buy his tears. I didn't buy his emotion. I thought he was being very manipulative. And I feel like Meri is kind of clued into the manipulation of Kody at this point. Maybe. They also released the next chunk of the season's trailer, which, by the way, so if this is the midpoint of the season, that means there's going to be 22 episodes this season. That's a lot. That's pretty wild. I don't know if, and the midpoint trailer doesn't have anything with Garrison. In fact, we haven't seen Garrison once this whole season. It's wild. I'm really starting to wonder if they removed him from the footage because he was so prevalent last year and then now he's just not there whatsoever. It's very bizarre to me. And no one really talks about him. It feels like he's been intentionally omitted or edited out. And that's been a discussion online with Sister Wives fans. In the very first minutes of the episode, they're loading up the truck. Meri is wearing a Karma shirt. It's their anniversary, their old anniversary, their ex-anniversary of their wedding. And Nathan is there to help. And they're loading up a stationary bike. And he rams Meri into Kody, which results in Kody not being happy, like laughing, but it's very awkward. Check this out.
Meri's bent over in front of me, right against me.
Closer than I have been to him in years.
We're divorced. I have one wife, and it's funny, but it's not funny. Robyn didn't choose to be monogamous, but she is one now. I mean, Meri and I have not been in this situation for 8 or 9 years.
To be very honest, it wasn't even a sexual ramming of anything. He just pushed her into Kody. She was walking up and he pushed her into Kody. And for some reason, this became some sort of flirty sexual moment. And I was confused because I'm like, are these people this oppressed, this prudish, or are they this sexually charged that just bumping someone into someone else and it looking like a compromising position when it's literally not? There was nothing sexual whatsoever in what happened. All he did was push her and she knocked into Kody. And Cody's the one that is making it sexual and is like, I haven't been in this position with Meri in about 10 years. And I kept thinking, well, that's not holy garment approved. Like, how are you wearing your holy garments with going, back door, Kody? Do you like the back door or do you just like a doggy? But either way, he's the one that sexualizes it. And I don't know, man. And then he gets all weird, like he's somehow cheated on Robyn. Are these people this prudish? Because we know they're not prudes. Kody had 4 sex partners for years. No prude has that many sex partners for years.
Yeah, next time it's going to be you, and I'm going to be behind.
And so when Nathan is the bike up against me, not only is it awkward and uncomfortable for that, it was also awkward and very uncomfortable because I had a full bladder. If he did let it go, I was going to pee my pants, and I was not lying.
All right, here, I want to keep working here. I really want to work.
Like, it was funny for us. Like, it was uncomfortable. It's like, knock it off, Nathan. Back off, man.
Because they're in a cult that's all about sex, because it's all about old men having a bunch of women so they can get it on and do it Mormon fundamentalist style in their holy garments. Is it standard for them to have the maturity level of 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds? This felt to me like they were in high school, honestly. If they wouldn't have laughed or anything like that, I would have never thought this to be sexual in any way whatsoever. It would never have crossed my mind, because it's literally just you're getting someone pushed into someone else. And if it was intended by Nathan to be like sexual, that's just disgusting. Like, why would you do that to your sister-in-law? That's gross. Why would you think that's funny to do that? And then Kody's laughing like he's going to do it to Meri next, which is like, okay, we're just going to keep objectifying her. I don't know. I, again, didn't find it to be sexual in any way. It didn't come across that way. So they're either very oppressed or they're just perverts. I don't know, but not any, or else they just never touch. But why would any touch automatically be sexual? I feel like that's Kody. He goes to sex constantly. Does anyone wonder if he's an addict? I wonder if he's a sex addict, if that's the only thing that's ever on his mind? And just to reiterate, if Nathan did this for the purpose of it to look sexual or be sexual, and it was unwanted or unwarranted by Meri, that's actually sexual harassment. And that's disgusting. So Nathan is a pervert too then. Why would you put your sister-in-law in that kind of position? These men are disgusting. If that was what they got out of this and they thought this was funny. And I felt like Meri was uncomfortable because her bladder was full, like she said, and the situation. And then they're putting her in that situation. Women are not safe with these creeps.
But also, in any other situation, it may not have been funny.
I think that's the first time I've ever threatened you. Like, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. Yes, I agree. It was hilariously funny. But on a matter of principle, it's not okay. You know what I'm saying? It just, it was so funny and yet so wrong.
Kody threatens to punch him in the mouth for doing that, which is weird. This is the second time Kody has threatened to punch people on the show. He said he would punch people in the mouth if they spoke about Robyn, and now he's threatening to punch Nathan in the mouth. And he said, that's the first time I've ever threatened to punch you in the mouth. I think that's a threat he uses often. But Meri points out that in any other circumstance, it was wrong. Well, if Nathan's intent in this situation was for it to be sexual, then it was wrong. Absolutely wrong. Meri and Kody don't have that kind of relationship. And Nathan is a pervert. Sexual harassment is unwelcome verbal, physical, or nonverbal conduct of a sexual nature that violates a person's dignity. So if he is doing this to Meri in the means to try to make this a sexual situation between her and Kody, it's a violation of her dignity. It's frankly a violation of Kody's dignity. But for Kody to act like this is something sacred, as though he's trying to claim now he's a one woman kind of guy, when just a few episodes ago he was trying to get back in bed with Janelle, he's full of shit. It's not about Robyn. This had nothing to do with Robyn. There was no cheating here. To even imply that this was a cheating situation is just stupid. What it was a violation of Meri's personal space, and it was unwelcomed. And she's laughing because she's uncomfortable. And Kody knew it was wrong because he said, you're being sexually harassed by your brother-in-law. This is the kind of stuff that can happen on reality television where people can get sued. Nathan is gross, but I'm going to move on because that part was just so weird to me because why is he worried about Robyn? How about you worry about what just happened to Meri? No checking on her that it's uncomfortable. She didn't ask Nathan to do that, by the way. And she does recognize in any other circumstance it would have been wrong. In this circumstance, it was wrong. If the point was sexual in nature, because neither one of them apparently want that with the other. Just saying. So later on, while they're packing things up, Robyn shows up. And this part is ridiculous because Robyn apparently uses the fact that she is so unwell in sadness from Meri leaving that she can't help. She can't help Meri pack and pack up the car or the truck because she would just cry the whole time. I feel like Robyn is probably the laziest friend ever. She's never there to help anyone, but she shows up to give Meri a journal, and it's very theatrical and it's hysterical because Meri doesn't buy it.
I was hoping to be able to be a part of it and help her and go there, but every single cell in my body would be screaming at me to stop helping her. I just don't want her to leave.
That's a bullcrap excuse. I don't believe it whatsoever. I don't believe that she's not helping Meri because every fiber in her body would stop her. If she was a rational human being and not so weird and delusional and dramatic, she'd suck it up and be an adult. Robyn's apparently never figured out how to be an adult. And even when Meri leaves, she proves she's just a crappy friend because I think if the roles were reversed and Robyn was leaving, Meri would help. She would help her move. She would pack her up. I mean, hell, Meri packed Robyn up to move her from St. George to Lehigh. She took time out of her day. She organized the move. She got them all together. And now when Meri's leaving, she can't repay the favor. It's just so stupid. Robyn just doesn't want to help, but she has to come up with a reason why she can't help. And then she shows up and she has to be super dramatic. And that does not go over well at all with Meri whatsoever. Meri doesn't seem remotely moved or even buy into what Robyn's trying to do, which is a very good sign.
I know this isn't goodbye, but I know I'll still see you and stuff.
Yeah.
And to come over.
Thanks. I
And
appreciate
wish
that.
you good wishes.
I appreciate that.
And tell you that I love you.
I love you too.
Robyn and Meri's relationship has frustrated me for years. I've seen Robyn just manipulate Meri. A real friend would be like, yeah, you have a sucky marriage. You should leave.
It is really interesting that Robyn would show up when they're moving, and she shows up very dramatically, and it does feel very manipulative. Why would you be showing up when you didn't want to help? You said you couldn't help, but you're there to cry and to make it about yourself and how upset you are. You've barely acknowledged her for how long, and you've lived in the same town. How often did you get together? Never. Your kids barely know her. You barely see her. It's just, again, so performative. And Christine is right. Robyn has manipulated Meri for a very long time, and Meri just, whether she liked Robyn or it was all for show, or if she thought it would be a way to get in with Kody to have a good relationship with Robyn, was 100% manipulated by her. She definitely hung on to stuff and did further and went and stayed longer than she should have because Robyn was leading her on, forcing her to stay in a miserable marriage, which, again, Christine's right. No friend would do that. And she was doing it for her own selfish reasons, not for Meri.
Christine actually doesn't know much about mine and Meri's relationship. The idea of manipulating Meri into doing something she doesn't want to do is sort of laughable. I'm sorry that this worked out this way.
Yeah, that's kind of sucky.
I wish it would have worked out very differently. Knowing Meri, she's just sort of taking it in. She's trying not to let this hurt, like this whole experience of her moving, put her into a place of sadness.
Now that I know that Robyn sent text messages to her friend and she called Meri a bitch and too much of a bitch to have another child, I don't believe her that she cares about Meri at all. And Christine is right and she does know the relationship the two of them have. That's Robyn's MO. Every time she gets called out for what she does, she says, they don't know me, or she doesn't know, or she has no clue, or I could never do that. I would never be able to manipulate. I would never be able to run Kody. If you know Kody, he's not one to be run by his wives. If you know Meri, she's not one to be manipulated. Oh, really? Meri got her whole ass catfished in front of the public. Remember that? She can be manipulated. It's proven. And she thinks that because Meri's not reacting the way that she would expect to react, she thinks it's because Meri's just trying to hold it together so that she's not sad about leaving. And it's quite comical because Meri's response to Robyn's emotions is not what Robyn thinks. I think Robyn thinks she knows everyone better than they know themselves. And Robyn buys her a gift that she would want, not what Meri would want, something that she would want, something that would be important for her and something she would like to do, to write down future plans and affirmations and talk about abundance or whatever. And so she gets her this journal because it's something that she would like to do, not thinking about what Meri would like to do. It's just very strange.
She's very emotional. I don't want to be emotional. Like, I've had a lot of emotions through this. Keep my emotions guarded, and I only share them with the people that I'm comfortable sharing them with. I know that Robyn is brokenhearted about this, and that's something she's going to have to process through herself. I'm at peace with where I am. I have an internal happiness that I haven't had for a really long time, and I'm not going to let that be brought down.
I think sometimes the reason why Robyn gets so upset, and this is just my observation, I don't know for sure, my speculation, but I always feel like her tears are self-serving. And even when she's saying goodbye to Meri, she makes a comment of, we didn't choose this, as though she didn't have a choice in what happened. And I feel like Robyn walked into this with very idealistic eyes about what plural marriage was or what polygamy was. And she thought that everyone had a choice, maybe, or that her say would be taken into account, or I don't know. She doesn't like to compromise. She also doesn't like to not get her way. And I think my interpretation of how she's been behaving is that she's having a hissy fit, temper tantrum, because she didn't get what she wanted. She wanted Meri to stay miserable in a marriage with Kody for years because that's what she wanted. She wanted that. Kody didn't want it. Meri didn't want it. Most of the women that were there for years didn't want it, but she wanted it. Now, does she want their money? Sure. That's a whole nother topic for another video when we start talking about the money. Is the money a factor here? Yes. But I don't think it's about money so much. I mean, it's partially about money, but I also think it's about control. And I also think it's about the superiority that she felt when she finally made it to the top wife and favorite wife. If you've spent like the better part of a decade trying to achieve the status in the family as being the superior wife, the favored wife, and then all of the competition is removed, and your whole goal this whole time was to be the top wife, and now that's gone, it's a knock to the ego. She has no one left to compete with. She has no one left to compare with. She has no one left to fight with for Kody's attention and affection and money. She didn't really have anyone to fight with, and she was never jealous of Meri because she knew that Kody and Meri never had a relationship. I think she also was never really jealous of Janelle because she also wasn't threatened by Janelle. She's very threatened by Christine and continues to be threatened by Christine because I think for the better part of the time that Christine was there, she was the only other one that was intimate with Kody. I don't buy it whatsoever that Janelle and Kody were intimate. I don't. I know they say she says it, but I think honestly, Janelle's pretty prideful, and I think she would have a hard time admitting that she wasn't intimate with him. Maybe she would feel embarrassed, and so she doesn't want to talk about it. So she just says we were good. But I don't really think that they were that great. And that's part of the reason why I don't think Robyn ever really cared to compete with her. She was always fixated on Christine. And I always felt like she was fixated on Christine because she was the only other wife that was having sex with Kody. And so if you have one other romantic rival, you're going to focus on that one because that's the one that you feel like is in your way, that you need to knock down. And she put a lot of her resources and energy into tearing Christine down and destroying the connection between Christine and Kody. And I don't think that it was that hard, but I think she was very focused on that relationship ending. So now these tears are just so fake. So then at the end, Kody has this meltdown, and I talked about it last week about how he had this meltdown. And again, the meltdown was very self-serving. But there was a part in this that I thought was really disgusting in a comment that he made to Meri that was so, I think he thought he was being nice, but he wasn't. And I don't think Meri thought he was being nice because it was beneficial for him, but it was torture for her. Check this out.
I'm mourning a loss. I've been so angry with Christine and Janelle that I haven't been able to really address the mourning. I've just been angry. And now, with you, I'm through that anger phase. I'm sorry about the 7 years, but I'm glad we did it because now I can mourn a loss instead of being angry. Does that make sense?
Don't understand it. He has made it clear that he did not want me in his life. So why this emotion?
Kody is such a jerk. Even when he is apologizing to her, he is saying things like, I'm sorry about the 7 years, but I'm so glad I did that because it allowed me the time to no longer be angry with you. And now you can leave. And now I'm just sad. I'm sorry I tortured you for 7 years, called you all kinds of terrible names, was very cruel to you, was very disparaging to you, smeared you on the show, wanted to put you in a barn dominium. I'm sorry I did all that, Meri. But I'm glad we did it because I was able to move on. So bye. I'm so sad. And then Meri acts confused. McKelty mentioned recently that Meri is a very naive person, and I actually believe she is. But he's doing this to manipulate you, Meri. That's why he's doing this. This is about his ego. He looks like a failure. He looks like a fool. He's lost his harem. But most importantly, Meri, he's lost your money. And he's lost the supply that you give to him. You were the only one of all of these women that was loyal to him throughout all of this, that was trying hard as hell to get him to notice you and was constantly doing whatever he wanted. And he's lost you and that supply. And it can't be replaced by Robyn because he has an endless need for attention and worship. And he's lost the number one person that worshiped him the most. And that's detrimental to his ego. And you embarrassed him by going to the church to get a release, which was a blow to his ego. So his tears to me are more about his own shame and his ego getting hurt than it is about Meri. And it's just, it again, just is the cruelty towards Meri, even at the end. He's not doing this because he cares about her. It's just it's selfish. It's no different than Robyn showing up and crying and giving her a journal that she would want because that's what she wants to do, and saying this isn't what we chose. They're both trying to manipulate her to question why she's leaving. They're playing with her mind. They're trying to pretend like everything that happened didn't happen and now they love her. And it's sick. It's disgusting. And Meri is naive that she is being, again, manipulated by them. Because in the next few episodes, she's going to question leaving and think she did the wrong thing. She eventually gets to a place where she doesn't. But even to this day, I think she still wishes that things could have been different. And it's because these two continue to manipulate her. It's gross. So that's the part I have for you about the Meri situation. We'll talk a little bit more later about what's going on with Janelle, the money, and all of that. But I want to know what your thoughts are about all of this. Make sure to comment below. And I'm getting very, very close to 400,000 subscribers. I would really love to get there by the end of this year. We've been having a little slow tick in getting new subscriptions lately, and subscribing is free. And I do know that a lot of you watch all the time and love these videos, but you haven't subscribed. So please make sure that you do. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button. No money is necessary, and make sure to click the notification bells so that you know when a new content loads. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to leave comments about all of this. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.